That's got some heat coming out of it. I have heat of 129 coming out of there. Hi there. So today we're going to be talking about this diesel heater. Here's where you put the diesel. This is where the output of the heat comes from. It has a neat screen. That's just how it sits in. There we go. And it's got a little knob with in a maintenance mode and a power on the right. And it's not a light thing, so it shows that it'll hold up to what looks to be 5 liters, and you can see the fuel is here. On the back, you have your 12 volt or 24 volt. It comes with this also, which is what we're going to be using, but if you have it hooked up in a car, you can hook it directly to your car battery instead of bringing an inverter along. And if you're going to use this, just go ahead and hook those up, so I might as well do that. And we'll hook this one up like that. Now I can plug this in and we can start to use it. Now I'm not going to do this inside while I'm setting it up, but this will just be here just to show you that you can hook it up. It also does come with a remote, so you can turn the heat up or down, on or off. That's kind of neat. From what I am seeing is this is great for using inside of vehicles such as farm equipment or an excavator or a van or something like that. Or you can use it for in a semi-truck, so whenever you're stopped and you want to heat up your truck. You can see that the book is fairly good at instructions. So one thing it doesn't really talk about is how you vent, because you have to vent. Let's take a look at the bottom. I haven't looked at the bottom. So there we go. Inlet and outlet. So this is inlet for air. This is outlet for the heat from whenever it's running. It's just the motor heat, the engine heat. So this is inlet, and it does come with 2 different hoses for that. An outlet, of course, the metal one is going to be your outlet, and it supposedly fits over top like that. Cool. All right, and then of course you just bend this however you want, and don't breathe this. Don't put this directly into the cabin of your car. So that's my concern is for if you have this in a vehicle, you have to make sure that you have some way to output this exhaust. This thing says it has an Android app, which is kind of neat. Now, I would think that the inlet doesn't really need to have, obviously, an exhaust because, well, it doesn't need to be exhausted because it's pulling air in. It comes with a boatload of worm gears and other types of spring gears and screws. So the screws, I'll get into that in a minute. So let's just finish hooking this up. I'm going to slip the worm gear over top of this, such, and it doesn't really let you get in here to close that up. So this is going to be interesting. Yes. All right. Look at that. All right. So if you can see this is the only way I was able to get a screwdriver into the side to be able to tighten this up. And I'm just using a long Phillips head screwdriver to tighten this inlet and exhaust together. All right. That's on. And that can literally just sit underneath. It doesn't need to do anything special like that. 5 is the inlet, and I do believe this goes over top of that. It does. All right. So this goes on so that nothing can get in while it's there. So it looks like I have this shut enough that it'll probably fit over top of that. All right. And like I said, that'll just basically just sit underneath. It doesn't need to go anywhere. Exhaust is where I'm going to be putting the outlet. So outlet. Now should be able to come in through this direction. So let me go ahead and start tightening that down. Right. And that should fit right over top of that. That should fit right there like that. And I should be able to bring my screwdriver down through like this again and tighten that up so that this doesn't come off. All right, that seems pretty tight. I'm going to try to hit it with the drill. Get it even tighter. That definitely doesn't work. All right. So now this needs to bend. And it doesn't really like to bend. You have to force it. I think I might have the longer end at the bottom. So let me check. All right, she's on. Again, this guy's just going to sit underneath there like that. Or it can just hang out the side. It doesn't matter. But I wanted to really get this one to be routed out the back like this, because it is then a specific area all the time and it's held in place like that. All right. Wow, that was a journey. And guess what we have here? We have a little muffler. You know it. So we got a little muffler. Make sure you take off the plastic don't think that would be a good idea to keep that on. This thing might get kind of warm and that would smell. All right, there we go. Ta-da. And now this guy should fit on the end of here, like that. And if I'm not mistaken, we have a little clamp that we can put up here to take care of that. All right, there we go. Tighten that up, and that can just bend up like that, or put it wherever you want, or connect it to another hose that goes longer. There you go. Well, and it does come with another clamp that you can adjust with and screw it to a wall or something like that. So there's that. But we're not going to. This is going to be more mobile for us. All right, so let's bring it down to the front, and you can see that does this sit. It's awesome. All right, let's see if that fit. I bend it down a little bit. There we go. But that thing is literally going to be sitting on something, and this is the exhaust, so make sure whatever you're setting it on can handle the exhaust. So, as I was saying, this exhaust is very close down to the bottom, so make sure whatever you're mounting it to is not flammable or you don't mind it getting very hot. So, let's go ahead and take a look at the front. It's going to be the next thing that we take care of. What the heck that thing's supposed to go to? Sure the heck ain't going to that. So, on the front, you have, this is where the heat actually comes out, and this is the pipe for it. This doesn't really stretch very much. It's about as long as you're going to get it. So go ahead and slip your worm here over top of this. And I found that once you get this pushed over top and you start twisting it, it'll basically twist itself on because it has little ridges here, and this is kind of like a screw. So once you get this to where it's supposed to be, you can go ahead and tighten this down. All right, that's on there. That's not going anywhere. Now what's neat is it does come with this collar. And this collar allows you to, if you want, to cut a hole in something, slip this over top of it, slip this in here, and then of course you can push this directly through a wall or something like that. And you have this nice little diverter that sends the heat a specific direction, and it does come with some screws, so you could screw this, I guess you'd screw it in this way, maybe? I'm not sure. Let's go ahead and tighten it up. All right. She's tightened. Now, one of the good things about having this is also you don't want anything like crawling into your pipes and stuff and dying like mice or something like that. So there, you've got that. It just hangs here. And I guess that is the setup. It does come with a drill bit for, I'm guessing the exhaust pipe. So if you want to push the exhaust pipe through someplace, you could do that. I don't know, maybe people drill holes in the bottom of their cars. I don't know. So these screws here, I do believe are for these mounting holes if you want to mount it someplace securely. That makes sense. There's a bunch of stuff here. But other than that, I think she's ready to go. So once I get this in a place where we're going to use it, I'll go ahead and show it off. So I did want to talk, it does have the remote control off, on, and plus and minus. So you can turn it off remotely. You don't have to get back into the back of your car and turn it off. And there is a mobile app that you can download and use with it also. So let's go ahead and add some diesel fuel to this and test it out. Again, it has a little thing on the side. I'm trying to get up to the point where I can actually see it, and I'll show it to you. I'll bring it up to about 2 liters, lid on it. All right, and you can see right here, you can see the fuel up and down, so you can definitely see that. Oh, you can see it on the other side too. Didn't even notice that. So as you can see, it's on both sides. I currently have this plugged in. You want to make sure that you keep your cords away from this because this is going to get hot. So this might be a good place to tie wrap some stuff to whatever to try to keep everything together. And if we look at the front, you can see that there is a little thing on the front that you can go around and you can set all kinds of things. If you press the this button, it'll actually switch in between things. You can set the temperature. There's P6. It's kind of hard to see because it's bright out, but I can set it to P5. I think that's a timer. What's nice is I can literally turn this thing on and off with this. So since it has fuel, I'm going to go ahead and try to turn it on and see if we can't get this thing to start. That's got some heat coming out of it. I have heat of 129 coming out of there, depending on what it is. Let's see how much the pipe is. The pipe is 176 Fahrenheit. So that goes back to what I was saying before. You definitely want to make sure that this is not someplace that is dangerous. And again, at the bottom, we're looking at 329 this thing set at 104 degrees if I'm not mistaken. And the heat that's coming out of here is right now 140 degrees Celsius. So I'm going to try to go ahead and turn it down some. I'm going to turn it down to 90, and that should turn it down. We've got some fantastic air coming out of here, and you can hear it just buzzing away and doing its thing, and that thing is pushing out some major heat. You can see the smoke coming out of here now because it is diesel, so it's going to be burning off some, and that's why you definitely want to have this vented out someplace. Now the idea is that we're going to be using this for our patio outside. We're going to be closing this in, and this is going to be heating that, so this will be pointed, of course, outside, and this will be what is on the inside, and this should keep that patio very warm. And it's not too loud. You can definitely hear it running, but if you put it off in the corner someplace away from where you're actually going to be sitting, it'll work fine. Now I did see videos of people using this inside their cars, so you definitely want to check on your state regulations and stuff like that with that, because of course every place is different. And the way that I saw the video is they literally drilled a hole through the floor and stuck this thing right out underneath the car. So if you've got a vehicle that you can do that in and you feel comfortable doing something like that, you could most definitely do that. I could really see this being popular with truckers who need to have heat in their car, in their trucks, but they don't want to have their trucks running all night long. And as you can see, you heard it kind of calm down. That's because it feels like there's enough heat that's happened and it's at the temperature that it's going to be at. And there you go. You can see it smoking out at the end because it's kind of chilling, waiting for it to cycle back up. But it works. It's definitely blowing a lot of heat. Even at its standstill, it's still blowing a good amount of heat out of here. So if you're looking for something like this that has multiple applications, go ahead and check it out. This might be exactly what you're looking for, but again, please use caution. This is not a toy.